and find my way back to center. That is one thing I can assure you of. And I'm sorry I made you feel that way. That must have felt terrible.
Was such a brat that she wanted to control every scene, wanted to see all the dailies, wanted to do her own cut and did her own cut of the movie. All this is very unusual for just an actress in the film.
I mean, honestly, the way that I get into a character is through their style. So it was more about who Lily is that was so fascinating to me.
Director Justin Baldoni is now suing his former co-star Blake Lively and her husband Ryan Reynolds.
Or a little meek, powerless Blake just had to deal with his aggressive advances. That's just so obviously a lie at this point. Like, this isn't going to end well for you, Blake. Sorry.
Have you ever wondered what happens when the glitz of Hollywood collides with raw, unfiltered courtroom drama? Right now, in the midst of a high-stakes legal battle, the story of Blake Lively is taking an explosive turn that no one saw coming. In a dramatic courtroom showdown, Blake's carefully constructed facade is cracking under the relentless pressure of evidence unearthed by none other than Megyn Kelly, a journalist on a mission to expose every alleged lie. As the evidence pours in, questions mount about whether the truth is being twisted and who, in the end, will pay the price for control over the narrative.
Seeking more than $400 million in damages, accusing them of defamation and extortion. Baldoni directed and acted in the hit film It Ends With Us, which starred Lively as well. 2 weeks ago, Lively sued Baldoni and his production company, alleging harassment on set and a coordinated campaign to attack her reputation. A lawyer for Baldoni called Lively's claims false.
Just as the courtroom drama intensifies, behind the scenes, an entirely different picture is emerging. Leaked text messages reveal a back and forth that hints at flirtation and playful banter, a stark contrast to the heavy accusations made in public. Even more astonishing is a nearly 7-minute voice memo from Justin Baldoni, recorded in the early hours of the morning, which provides a raw, unfiltered glimpse into the private dynamics between him and Blake.
Hey, Blake. It is 2 a.m. Hopefully this does not wake you up. Whew. Wow. There's so much I want to say to you, and I hope that we can FaceTime or see each other in person soon and get to talk more. But I'm just going to send you a few thoughts, and hopefully it's not going to be more than a few minutes. But that I don't have the best track record. I don't think either one of us have the best track record for our voice memos. I want to start with an apology. Man, reading the second part of your message, my heart sank. And I'm really sorry.
In these recordings, Justin's tone fluctuates between apologetic remorse and a hint of desperation as he tries to explain his side of the story. He mentions moments that some might call intimate, yet others interpret as strategic moves to downplay any wrongdoing. This private correspondence raises a critical question. Are these leaks undermining the version of events Blake has long tried to control?
Alleged claims of harassment are complete BS. Here's what really happened. Released their actual texts, putting things like, he watched me breastfeed naked in my trailer in context when we saw text from her saying, I'm breastfeeding in my trailer, come on over.
The legal battlefield is as complex as the personal relationships at its center. On one side, Blake has filed a complaint that paints her as a victim of harassment, a narrative that suggests she has been under constant attack, not just by circumstances, but by those around her.
We always tease each other. He was, after I gave birth, he was like, oh my gosh, if I lost you and I, went to the park with our 3 kids, I mean, think of the ladies I could have. Like, this is a horrible thing to say. And he's like, I've got a long list. And I was like, oh really? Because I just have one on my list. I didn't. I don't have anyone on my list.
And then it wasn't funny anymore.
No, it's so much more of a burn. He's like, wait, who? And I was like, think of someone. Bob Newhart, I don't know.
On the other side, Justin's countersuit counters these claims with an equally forceful response. His legal team argues that not only are Blake's allegations baseless, but that her entire campaign is a strategic move designed to control the media narrative. The courtroom is quickly becoming a stage for an intricate legal chess match where every move is scrutinized, And every piece of evidence could be the tipping point in this high-stakes drama.
Justin and his team promised to start releasing all of his correspondence with her. They're saying, we'll be an open book. This is not a nice person. And Justin bent over backwards to accommodate her many, many demands.
Yet this isn't just about legal filings and courtroom exchanges. It's about the battle for creative control, a struggle that stretches far beyond the legal documents. According to insiders, Blake's ambition may have extended into trying to commandeer the direction of a film, even though her role was intended to be that of a star rather than a director or producer. It appears that when things didn't go her way, she shifted tactics, using her influence and celebrity status to attempt to silence any criticism. This alleged power grab isn't just about artistic differences, it's about rewriting the story in her favor, no matter what the cost. And as the evidence stacks up, every contradictory text message and leaked memo chips away at the version of events she has so carefully constructed. For Justin Baldoni, this isn't just another day in Hollywood, it's a fight for vindication. Justin claims that while he was bending over backwards to accommodate Blake's demands, he was unfairly maligned by a series of misleading allegations. His side of the story is bolstered by an impressive array of digital communications that seem to contradict the narrative put forward by his co-star. With each new text and every incriminating voice memo, Justin paints himself as a man caught in the crossfire of a larger media manipulation campaign. His legal team isn't shy about promising that the floodgates of evidence will soon open, with more texts, emails, and late-night voice recordings that could potentially turn the entire case on its head. As the courtroom drama unfolds, the role of the media becomes increasingly critical. Both sides have taken deliberate steps to sway public opinion, using every tool available to control the story. Media outlets are not simply reporting the facts, they are crafting narratives that play to their audience's love of scandal. On one hand, Blake's supporters view her as a victim fighting against an oppressive system, while on the other, Justin's camp portrays him as a misunderstood artist, besieged by a smear campaign. The media's selective release of documents and private communications only adds to the confusion, leaving viewers to wonder who is really in control here and what is the full truth behind the headlines. One of the most jaw-dropping elements of this ongoing saga is the financial leverage now at play. Justin's lawsuit isn't just a bid for vindication, it's a demand for a staggering $400 million in damages, a sum that is nearly 4 times the combined net worth of Blake Lively and her high-profile husband, Ryan Reynolds. Legal experts have weighed in, with some arguing that such a figure is less about securing actual compensation and more about setting a bold negotiating position. It's a move that seems designed to force a settlement and create a media frenzy, making every dollar of that claim a talking point in its own right. But behind the seemingly outrageous number lies a serious question. Is this astronomical figure a strategic PR play or a legitimate legal demand that could upend the financial balance for everyone involved? At the heart of it all is a battle of narratives, a struggle to control not only what the public sees, but what the truth ultimately becomes. Blake Lively's claims of being wronged, of being painted as a victim by a relentless media onslaught, stand in stark contrast to the documents and voice recordings that suggest a far murkier reality. Justin's side argues that instead of being a powerless target, he is the one who has been forced into a corner by Blake's attempts to rewrite the rules. With every new piece of evidence released, the scales seem to tip back and forth, challenging the credibility of both parties and leaving the public to question which version of the story is true. The stakes are incredibly high, not just for the reputations of those involved, but for their very livelihoods. As the legal and media battles continue to rage, the personal costs are beginning to show. In Hollywood, where every public misstep can lead to career-altering consequences, both Blake and Justin are risking much more than just a legal defeat. For Blake, the potential fallout from this case could permanently tarnish her image, while for Justin, the quest for vindication might well come at the expense of his creative freedom and future opportunities. Even Ryan Reynolds' silence has not gone unnoticed. His quiet withdrawal from the fray speaks volumes about the pressure and calculated strategy at work behind the scenes. Amid the swirling rumors, leaked communications, and media spin, one thing remains clear. This isn't a simple case of right versus wrong. It's a multifaceted conflict where personal ambition, creative control, and the power of celebrity intersect in the most unpredictable ways. Each new revelation forces both the public and the legal experts to rethink their initial assumptions. Is Blake simply trying to protect her carefully managed public persona at all costs, or is there a deeper, more strategic plan behind her every move? And as Justin continues to release new evidence, can his claims of being forced into an unfair position truly override the narrative that has long been controlled by the media's selective storytelling? As we stand at the crossroads of this unfolding drama, the role of the media looms larger than ever. Every tweet, every leaked text, every snippet of audio has become a battleground where public opinion is waged like a war. In an era where cancel culture and online reputations are as powerful as any legal verdict, the stakes extend far beyond the courtroom. The narrative is not just being written by lawyers and journalists, it's being forged by every viewer, every critic, and every insider with an opinion. And as the drama intensifies, it's becoming increasingly difficult to separate fact from fiction. Ultimately, what we are witnessing is more than just a legal dispute. It is a full-blown battle for narrative supremacy, a contest where every piece of evidence, every strategically released piece of information, and every public statement is a move in a larger game of power. Blake Lively's attempt to control the story is met with Justin Baldoni's relentless push for transparency. And in the middle of it all, the media stands as both an amplifier and an arbiter of truth. With financial stakes soaring and personal reputations hanging in the balance, the question is not only who is right, but who will ultimately prevail in this high-stakes Hollywood showdown. So where does this leave us? With a courtroom that is as volatile as a powder keg and a media landscape that thrives on scandal, the future of this saga is as uncertain as it is explosive. Each new revelation not only challenges the narratives that have been carefully constructed, but also forces us to confront the reality that in Hollywood, the truth is often stranger and far more complicated than fiction. The lines between victim and aggressor, between creative vision and personal ambition, are blurred beyond recognition. In the end, this isn't just another celebrity scandal. It's a case study in modern media warfare, where the power to shape public opinion is as potent as any legal argument. As the evidence continues to mount, both sides are playing a dangerous game where every misstep could be catastrophic. And for viewers like you, who are hungry for the truth behind the headlines, the promise is clear. This story is far from over. Stay tuned as we follow every twist and turn in this explosive legal battle, where the fight for truth and control is only just beginning. One thing is certain, when the cameras stop rolling and the final pieces of evidence come to light, the fallout from this clash of Hollywood titans will be felt for years to come. The question remains, in a world where reputation and narrative are currency, who will ultimately be left standing?